Hello everyone, welcome to the video on solving systems of equation by using the substitution method. So we're going to walk through the steps here and then we're going to work 3 or maybe 4 of these. So remember, when you have a system of equations, you're going to have 2 equations. So step 1, solve one equation for, and you can either solve it for x or y. Most of the time, I'm going to be solving them for y, but it can be solved for x as well, okay? Step 2, once you've solved one equation for x or y, then you're going to substitute, hence the name, substitution method. You're going to plug it in, substitute. You're going to replace one thing with another. So we're going to substitute. This expression into the other equation, and then you're going to solve for the variable. So what happens when you solve one of the equations for x or y and you plug it into the other equation, you now only have one variable. That's why it says solve for the variable, because now you will only have one. All right, so now once you've solved that equation for either x or y, you're now going to substitute again. You're going to substitute, plug in, substitute your answer into the revised equation from step 1, and again, you're going to solve for the other variable. So here, you're either solving for x or y, and then down here, you're going to solve for the other one. All right, so we're going to take a look at one, and we're going to start off with easy, and we're going to work our way up to the difficult ones. So here we go. You've got your 2 equations. It says solve one equation for x or y. Well, look at that. Our first equation is already solved for y. So make a note of that. So we're going to put here y equals 4x minus 1. Right. So now I know what y equals. So that means I can replace y with that something. So in your equation, y equals 2x minus 5. I know what y equals. Let me do this. This might help a little bit. Okay. So now I know y equals this. So now in the place of this y, now in the place of this y, right, because this is what y equals. So if 2 things are equal, I can replace one for the other. So now I'm going to replace this y with this 4x minus 1. So again, you solve one of the equations for x or y, and then you plug it into the other equation. So now I'm taking what I solved equation 1 for, and now I'm going to go to equation 2, this 2x minus 5, and I'm going to replace y with what it's solved for. So since it tells me y is 4x minus 1, I'm going to replace y with 4x minus 1. And as I stated up here, now you've gone from an equation with 2 variables, x and y. Now you have an equation with only one variable. So now we have to solve this equation. So we don't want x's on both sides, right? I've got a 4x on the left side. Here's the equal signs, and this is on the right side of the equal signs. The way that I taught this is you get rid of the smaller one. So minus 2x minus 2x. 4x minus 2x. So now we get 2x minus 1 equals the 2x's cancel. Bring down that negative 5. Make sure you don't just bring down 5. Everything thereafter will be wrong. You need to keep that minus sign / negative sign with it. Okay? So now I'm going to carry this back up here. 2x minus 1 is negative 5. So we're still doing step 2 right here. So we can label this. Solving it was step 1. So step 2. Right, so we're still solving for x. So now we're going to do plus 1, to undo minus 1, we do plus 1. Right. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. We now divide. It's 2 times x, so we divide by 2. We get x equals negative 2. So now that we've solved for one of the variables, step 2, now we're going to go to step 3. Now I've got to take this equation and I've got to solve it into, I've got to take this solution for x and I have to plug it into one of those two equations, okay? This one says your answer into the revised equation from step 1. Doesn't have to be that. That's going to be the simplest thing to do. So, but they're both y equals. So I'm going to use the y equals 4x minus 1. And now remember, we just solved for x, right? We have x equals negative 2. So now guess what we're going to put in the place of that x? Hope you said negative 2, because that's what x is equal to. So y equals 4 times, because it has a negative sign, I'm going to put parentheses around it so it doesn't look like minus 2. So 4 times negative 2 minus 1, we do our arithmetic there. Let's see, that's going to be negative 8 minus 1, that's negative 9. And now I have my answer, negative 2, negative 9. How would you check your answer for that on Desmos? I hope you said graph both of them. And hopefully, if we've done it right, they're going to cross, those two lines are going to intersect at negative 2, negative 9. We could also plug our numbers back into the equation, but Desmos gives us a really quick, simple check, right? So this one, both equations were solved for y. I'm going to go down and do number 3. Right? Now this one, only one of the equations is solved for y, so I'm going to have to start with that one as my beginning point. So nice part about this is it's already solved for y. So I have y equals x plus 9. So really step 1, we really haven't had to do much of that yet because they've already been solved for x or y. So one of the equations is solved for y. Substitute it into the other equation. Don't put it back in itself because it's kind of like running in a circle. You're not going to get anywhere. So we're going to go to the second equation. And remember, y was equal to x plus 9. So if that's equal to y, that's what you put in the place of y. So now we're going to have 3x. I need to put here that I'm starting here, step 2. Solved it for y, it's actually already solved. And then you substitute it into the other equation. So 3x plus 8. And now in the place of this y, I'm going to put x plus 9. Okay. What do you think I'm going to need here? So I do 8 times all of that, not just 8 times x. Hopefully you said parentheses. Equals negative 5. Right, so now we're starting solving for x. So we know that the first thing is to simplify. We don't want parentheses in our problem, so we're going to distribute. We're going to distribute this 8. 8 times x, and then 8 times 9. Okay. So part of simplifying is also combining like terms. So this one, I don't have a 3x on one side and an 8x on the right side. So they're already on the same side of the equal signs. They're both on the left side of the equal signs. So I can just combine them like they are. So 11x plus 72 equals negative 5. Okay. And now we have to get x by itself. So it's plus 72, so we minus 72. I'm going to write my new equation up here. Of course, the 72's cancel. Positive and negative are opposites. All we have now is 11x equals negative 5 minus 72 on the right side. That's negative 77. We're not done yet. We don't have x equals. I got to get rid of that 11. It's 11 times x, so we divide by 11. X equals negative 7. So that's the end of step 2. We now have x. So now you can go back to either equation. I will use this one because it's already y equals. If you want to use the other one, fine. You're going to make more work for yourself. I would take one that's already solved for y or x. So go back to y equals x plus 9. Now this would be considered step 3. And again, notice x equals negative 7, so should not be a surprise. Since x equals negative 7, then I'm going to replace x with negative 7. So now y equals negative 7 plus 9. And of course you get 2, or if you want to, y equals 2. Now we can write our answer as an ordered pair. Negative 7, 2. We'll take a look at number 4. All right, this one is already solved for x. No, I'm going to stop